Imagine a Swiss watchmaker that once matched the mechanical quality of Patek Philippe and Rolex, but has since been largely overlooked by the mainstream. This brand built the foundation for the high-end movements collectors still chase 70 years later. That name is Longines. Auguste Agassiz founded the company in 1832 in the village of Saint-Imier. The factory was built in a local meadow known as Les Longines, the Long Meadow, which gave the brand its name. Longines spent the 19th and 20th centuries building tools for extreme environments. During the era of early flight, they engineered the critical navigation instruments that allowed pioneers to map the modern world from the cockpit. For 44 years, they were the technical choice of the Olympic Games. Their engineers developed the first timing systems capable of measuring performance to the hundredth of a second, resolving finish line disputes that the human eye couldn't see. At its peak, Longines was not manufacturing jewelry. They were engineering precision survival and athletic instruments, where accuracy was a matter of life or death. The turning point came in 1969. The arrival of the Seiko Astron triggered the quartz crisis, a massive shift that completely decimated the Swiss mechanical industry and forced legendary brands to restructure or vanish. Longines survived by joining the Swatch Group, but the cost was its independence. To protect the group's hierarchy, Longines was moved into the mid-tier market, positioned clearly above Tissot but strictly below Omega. That positioning changed how the general public sees the brand today. While the mainstream market sees an accessible mall watch, vintage collectors see the elite in-house mechanical architecture produced before the corporate merger. A vintage Longines column wheel chronograph averages $600. A comparable vintage Omega costs 5 times that amount. This gap isn't mechanical quality, it's brand recognition. By ignoring social validation, you buy elite mechanical architecture for a fraction of the cost. If you want the definitive dress watch from this era, look at the Flagship Reference 9803. It represents Longines' pursuit of formal perfection during the 1960s. The exterior specifications are tailored for formal wear. It typically trades between $300 and $800, featuring a 35mm case that sits just 8.5mm thick. Inside, you'll find the caliber 30L. It's a manually wound 17-jewel movement beating at 18,000 vibrations per hour, offering a power reserve of approximately 42 hours. Because of that 8.5mm profile, the watch disappears under a shirt cuff. It was designed specifically to be worn with a suit without creating bulk at the wrist. While 35mm may feel small for a casual weekend watch, the dial finishing and build quality are virtually unmatched at this price point. For those who care about technical complexity, the Conquest chronograph is the target. Its reputation is built entirely on the in-house caliber 30CH movement. The 30CH uses a column wheel architecture. This tiny wheel rotates whenever you use the chronograph, providing a smooth, precise feel as the metallic lever snaps into place, a detail usually reserved for ultra-luxury watches. This matrix breaks down the Ref 9041. It features a 36mm case and the manual 30CH caliber. Prices range from $400 for a basic example to $2,000 for a clean reference. To put that $2,000 price in perspective, most modern Swiss houses charge $20,000 for a comparable column wheel chronograph. Longines delivered that same level of engineering at less than 10% of the cost. Buying this level of mechanical complexity for under $2,000 simply requires you to accept the routine of manual winding and the need for specialized maintenance. If you want a watch with documented history, there is the Weems Second-Setting. This was built as a legitimate aviation instrument for the United States Navy. This watch was used by Charles Lindbergh and Amelia Earhart. These aren't marketing tie-ins. They are documented historical facts, confirmed by the personal records of the pilots themselves. The rotating inner bezel had a specific job. It allowed pilots to synchronize the seconds hand with a radio time signal mid-flight without stopping the watch, ensuring their navigation calculations remained precise. The specs reflect its purpose as a tool. It uses the manual caliber 12.68Z, but the standout detail is the massive 47mm case. Due to its historical significance, the price ranges from $1,500 to $5,000. That 47mm footprint makes it impractical for the office, but it remains the most direct piece of 20th century biography you can actually wear on your wrist. In 1969, Longines entered the precision arms race with the Ultra-Chron, competing against Zenith and Seiko for the most accurate movement in the world. It achieved this through a high-frequency movement beating at 36,000 vibrations per hour. By oscillating this fast, the movement becomes less sensitive to positional errors, resulting in chronometer-level accuracy. Because the watch takes 10 times per second, the seconds hand doesn't stutter. It glides around the dial in a virtually continuous, ultra-smooth sweep. The matrix shows the rough 8142 specs, a 38mm case, a $500 to $1,500 price range, and the automatic caliber 431 with hacking functionality. The high beat rate creates significant internal friction, so you must stay disciplined with your servicing schedule. If you do, it is the ultimate high-tech daily wearer from this era. For those with specific constraints, there are two other options. First is the 13ZN pocket-to-wrist conversion, which provides a way to secure a legendary chronograph movement on a budget. The left side of the matrix shows the data for these conversions. They usually cost between $300 and $800 and use adapted 1930s calibers in modern steel cases. The trade-off is that you lose all factory originality. Because these movements were designed for pocket watches, they have zero shock protection and no water resistance. On the right side, we have the automatic reference 1114. This is for the budget-conscious buyer who wants a simple, everyday dress watch. It's a clean 34 to 36mm piece that starts as low as $200. These options require a clear choice. You are either sacrificing the historical originality of the watch or its mechanical complexity in exchange for a lower entry price. To find the right watch for you, follow this decision tree and identify your primary priority. If you prioritize formal elegance and a slim profile for the office, you choose the Flagship 9803 or the Reference 1114. For technical enthusiasts who want elite architecture or high-frequency precision, the Conquest 30CH or the Ultra-Chron are the correct choices. And if you are a history buff who wants a direct link to aviation history, you look for the Weems 5906. Whichever path you choose, you are prioritizing actual horological value over the social validation of a modern logo. When buying, your first rule is to avoid refinished dials. A repainted dial might look new, but it permanently lowers the watch's value for collectors. Always verify the movement. Use the serial number found on the caliber and check it against the free Longines database online to confirm exactly when it was produced. Finding the right example takes patience and research, but if you're willing to do the work, you get to own a piece of the forgotten high watermark of Swiss watchmaking.